Yo, guys, welcome back to the Modern Creative Podcast. It is your boy, Alberto Mendoza. How are you doing? I am well. Thank you for asking. What's happening, guys? I just got done doing a Tahoe trip over the weekend. Man, such a great time. Such a great time. I was having the itch to freaking get out of my work mind and just like not think about anything and just enjoy nature. And I've been eyeing Tahoe for a while. I've gone to Tahoe a few times for snowboarding purposes, so it was a little different going there when it's actual fall time. So it was cool to go somewhere different. I'm used to the beach. I'm used to the palm trees, 75-degree weathers year round. So there, it was a little cooler at moments, and then it also got a little warm. So, I mean, we did a variety of things. We drove all the way up there, which was a 9-hour drive, but we broke it in half, stopped at Chris and Sister spot, and then from there went to Tahoe the following morning. So we had a solid day and a half there in Tahoe to explore. And man, it was such a great experience, filming for myself, creating for myself, putting the drone up, using my camera as well. So I'm hoping to pump out some content. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, feel free to follow my personal page. Link will be in the description. And take a look at some of the stuff that I was able to capture. We did a lot of hiking out there and captured a lot of amazing stuff. We went to this secret cove, that's what it's called. And so got into the water. The water was freezing, but it was so worth it. Like getting in there. Luckily the skies were clear, so we had the sun beaming at us. I actually got a little bit of color there. So that was, it just felt amazing, just to chill out and not think of anything. I did a pretty good job not getting on social media. I definitely did get on YouTube a lot because I'm just a YouTube freak, man. I like consuming that YouTube content all the time. I didn't even like post on stories actually, at least in real time. I'm starting to roll them out right now as we speak. I did pretty good of not being on Instagram because it's so easy to like, get on Instagram and consume what people are up to with stories and just to post. And it's like, oh man, like I don't care. Like it felt good not being on it for a solid 3 days. I'm back on Instagram and immediately feel like the tension on my upper back, neck area. And so it's just part of the game. I had a few inquiry DMs just sitting there, so I had to respond to that. And so, yeah, man, it's been pretty cool. On the way back home, we were passing Mammoth Lakes, and we knew there was hot springs in the area because we have looked it up a couple years prior. And so luckily we didn't pass it. It was like literally 20 minutes ahead of us. So we did a pit stop there, hung out at the hot springs. The freaking water was hot. It actually like made your skin a little red. It was like borderline boiling, I think. But it was really cool being in the hot springs and whatnot. Got to play with Kristen's G7X camera. That was very fun. And yeah, man, overall, great trip. I recommend you guys, if you guys are in a position where work is like taking over and you just kind of need an escape. If you're an adventurous person, I definitely recommend just going on a trip somewhere. It doesn't have to, you don't have to necessarily get on a plane. Ours was definitely a road trip. I mean, it was like 9 hours there, 9 hours back. I know not everyone could do that, but like if you could just step away and take a solid hour, 2-hour drive to a cool spots and just hang out in nature. I wanted to experience the fall vibe, since here in Southern California, you don't really experience that. Like I said, it's currently like around 70 degrees outside. So it feels like summer, even though we are in late September. It was cool to go over there and just wear some warmer clothes and do s'mores at night, drink some wine. Very fun times. And I definitely see myself going back there again. Other than that, I do want to talk about my new vlog series that I just dropped on Friday. I am going to start producing these behind the scenes vlogs. It's going to be completely different from this podcast setup. It's going to be a more rugged look since I am filming on the iPhone 14 Pro. And yeah, that has been so fun to produce. I got inspired, and I mentioned this in the actual vlog, so I highly recommend you guys checking it out. I definitely got inspired by this kid named David Moorfield. He's based out of Orlando. I ran into his video just randomly on my algorithms. I think it's because I've been doing a ton of Sony FX6 research, and it just happened to land on my algorithms. Checked it out and instantly got hooked with the style of filmmaking and style of vlogging, I guess. And so I pretty much consumed almost his entire catalog within the span of 3 or 4 days. I was definitely fanboying for a second. And I was like, dude, what the hell? Like, I want to do something like this. Like, I've always wanted to do BTS style. I just didn't know how to approach it. In my mind, I was like, all right, maybe I should use my 6300 that's just collecting dust, but that means I need to get someone to film my productions and whatnot. So like, to me, it just didn't really make sense to do that. I've seen YouTubers do that, but I can't just have someone tag along with me just to film BTS. I could probably do it here and there, but to do it 4 times a week, it's going to be a little impossible. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna break out the iPhone and just start filming it and not have such a care and just make the vlog feel a little bit more free and organic. And so that's been fun. I shot a keynote and I pretty much did the whole BTS of how I got the job, my approach of the actual shoot itself, the gear that I'm using, why I'm using certain gear for certain scenarios. So if you guys are interested in seeing the behind the scenes of my actual personal work, feel free to check out the vlog. It's on the same exact channel as this podcast. So yeah, it's under the vlog playlist, and yeah, definitely check it out. That's episode 1. I already filmed episode 2, so I gotta chop that up and edit it myself. Tomorrow I'm actually going to film episode 3, and on Friday I'm going to film episode 4, and on Saturday I'm going to film episode 5. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. It gives me an extra motivation to produce content since it's so easy with the iPhone. The iPhones are so good, I'm telling you, man. I'm just shooting in 4K, 24 frames per second. I know it's not the cleanest look ever, but with little adjustments in post and exposure in real time, I think the image looks pretty good. But at the end of the day, it's all about the message of that specific visuals, I guess. I'm explaining, I'm pretty much talking to the camera, and I'm also doing voiceovers in post, which is pretty cool. I'm just having a lot of fun with it. I know it's only been 1 episode, but I want to produce more content. I had pretty good reception on the first episode, people commenting and whatnot and engaging into the content. So that's been fun. And yeah, you will not see this BTS on Instagram. So if you're on Instagram that follows me, definitely check out the YouTube channel. If you're a listener and you want to see the behind the scenes, definitely check out the YouTube channel. It'll be linked in the description. And yeah, feel free to hit the subscribe button. Besides that, I have been investing in a ton of gear as of late because I'm getting booked and busy. There are certain gear that I need for my productions. So I'm recently purchasing like little accessories, little gadgets here and there. I'll probably make a vlog video in regards to the actual gear that I'm purchasing as of late, just to keep you guys updated. But yeah, man, as of right now, things are going smooth, things are going great. A ton of business is happening right now, which I'm very fortunate, and I'm taking advantage of this momentum right now because I know around Q4 things tend to slow down a little bit. I remember experienced this last year, and even the people in my circle, they also experienced something very similar where things slow down towards the end of the year. So right now I am fucking going ham, going hard as a mofo to get these productions going and whatnot. But yeah, man, it's been a fun ride, and I cannot wait to show you those BTS vlogs. But other than that, DJI just released another drone. We are talking about the DJI Mini 4 Pro. I don't know how DJI does it, man. They're always pumping out new material, new products, and hey, man, we all love it. So it's so weird because I feel like the Mini 3 Pro just got released like not too long ago, but I did a little bit of research. It's been well over a year. And then I'm thinking about like, oh, wow, like my Mexico trip that I did in Puerto Escondido, my buddy that went with me at the time had the DJI Mini 3 Pro, and it was kind of cool because it was the first time the drone camera could actually rotate to portrait mode since like the original Mavic Pro. So they finally brought that feature back, and that was like a huge deal. So the Mini 4 Pro is pretty much kind of does the exact same thing in my opinion. Other than that, these are the specs that we're talking about right now. The camera is a 1" 1/3 sensor, 48 megapixel stills, 4K up to 100 frames per second. Standard 1080 can film up to 200 frames per second. You can now film your videos in 10-bit D-Log-M or HLG for those that don't want to do too much color correction in post. What's interesting about this drone is that it's capable of taking 2 different kinds of batteries. The standard intelligent flight battery could run up to 34 minutes, or the intelligent flight battery plus that's capable of 45 minutes. There isn't really any groundbreaking specs when it comes to this specific drone, but the thing about the Mini drone line is that it's quite affordable, and this specific drone goes for 760 American dollars. That's just the drone and the remote. So Alberto, who is this drone for? I think this drone is for someone that A, doesn't have unlimited funds, because this drone is, in my opinion, is a little bit affordable, and B, someone that's not going to take videography and photography super serious. If you're looking to have some fun with the drone and you want to take it for your next upcoming trip and you're not worried about having a big massive drone, this Mini Pro drone is so small. If you ever take it out in public, no one's gonna really bat an eye compared to like my big ass drone that makes a ton of noise. So you're gonna have that leeway of, you know what, I'm gonna pop it out anywhere and not have the stresses of people watching me as I'm pulling out the drone and putting it up in the air. So that's a really good advantage of having this specific drone. But that is it for me, guys. It's going to be a short one. Again, if you guys are interested in having a consultation with me, the information is down below. Feel free to reach out to me via email and let's figure out your situation. And again, you are welcome to ask me anything when it comes to money, when it comes to gear, when it comes to how I go about my business. I'm going to be an open book, give you some real insight of how to run this video production or creative freelance business. Thank you guys for rocking with me, man. I really appreciate you guys. If you guys are on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, give it a 5-star rating and leave it a nice review. I really appreciate that, specifically for Apple Podcasts. I'm not sure if you could leave a review on Spotify yet. And if you're on YouTube, give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe. And yeah, man, I will see you guys next week. Peace.